Hello, everyone, and welcome to this fine new episode of the Ubuntu Touch Q&A, episode 144, streamed live on July 6th, 2024. My name is Alfred, and joining me tonight is...
Happily. Hello, everyone.
There we go. Quite a delay. All right.
Yeah,
So,
I will blame the lag, but no.
all right. So we've got a few points to go through this fine episode, and let's start with the news. These news are collected from GitLab, .com/UBports, all the merge requests that have been merged over the last 2 weeks. And let's start with two new components that have been ported from Focal to Noble, and that is Qt Ubuntu, which means Qt on Mirror Client works on Ubuntu Touch based on Noble now, and also Mirror Android 2 platform. And let's start this real quick with screen sharing here. Have to add it to the stage because we have a working. I hope you can see this now. We do have, thanks to Rachanan, a working Ubuntu Touch Noble installation on a Volaphone 22 as an example here. This means that the shell boots up, and Rachanan has assured me that logging into the thing with a pin also should work now. So it's more than just lock screen. And let's just keep this image here for a while I go through the list of other changes that have happened. There are a few components that have been changed and added. First and foremost, starting off with writable paths getting /etc/netplan added, which means that the network manager in Noble seems to require netplan from proper Ubuntu to manage the networking interface as a backend. And that one is added now. There is further work on telephony and contacts across multitude of components. We use the DNS mask in Network Manager now for instead of, what was the other one again? Resolve D. So that there is a little change in the default that is getting used. Systemd timesync D is the preferred NTP client. Waydroid sensors gets updated to 0.2.0. There is also an update to support multiple Ubuntu Touch major versions to rootfs builder DBOS. And there are also two device-specific changes that I've noticed here in GitLab. And that is for the Poco X3, allow web-based video call, which I've seen the change of, and it makes sense to maybe add this into the default in the future. But for now, it's a device-specific change. And also, camera permissions have been fixed. So camera access now requires permissions to have access to the actual video viewfinder and frame so that the camera can be accessed. Let's remove this here.
And I think also on the Poco X3, there is also some fix I saw about the fingerprint reader.
Okay, yeah.
So good news for the Poco users.
Yeah, definitely. Poco X3 looks like one of those devices that gets some. It feels like it's got some fuel added and it's going faster now. Seeing a lot of changes in this one makes me pretty happy here to see this. I think that's a quick but very precise roundup of the news over the last 2 weeks, because those might be those changes look like they're not a lot, but they amount to a very large set of changes that have landed. So as you can see, or as you were able to see, there is Ubuntu Touch based on 2404 now running on a device, booting up, and I'm looking forward to all the follow-up changes that come up. I think we should head over to the experiments then. What do you think, Apple?
Yeah, of course. And just to round up the news, compared to the last time, it was like 50% increase in merge requests being merged. So great acceleration on the development side.
Oh yeah, definitely. Nice of you keeping track of those stats.
No,
So,
just a number of pages.
all right. So let's head over to the experiments, and this time I want to mention two particular things that I've started to work on, or at least started planning and structuring a few things to make them happen. Let's start with a new app that I want to provide, and that one is for first-time setups. It's a device import app, and the goal is for first-time setups of Ubuntu Touch, or afterwards, should you choose to do so after setting up your device, starting a device import app, and that one migrates your data over from Ubuntu Touch, Android, or Apple devices over to Ubuntu Touch. It would go over through USB, so libUSB in use, libMTP, and libIMobile device for the respective targets or source devices to fetch the data from. And I take the chance to also prepare some work for USB features in Ubuntu Touch, so that Click apps get access to USB devices also. Because this is needed for those types of things, and having in 24.04 potentially a USB permission or some way of accessing a USB device would allow for much different use cases where this could also be applicable. And it starts with AppArmor confinement rules and maybe other work that needs to be done around that. But this is what it looks like. Device import with support for Ubuntu Touch, fetching from another Ubuntu Touch or an Android or an Apple device. So this is where I was...
Very good idea. Very good idea. Yeah. Some
and
features
also,
that many people requested for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking of myself just switching over from one device to another, switching over one device to another is not happening often, but when it happens, it's annoying because we don't want to spend hours archiving our backup of one device and restoring it on another. It's a little painful, but this is a great start, I think, and should help us, or new users especially, to get over and get a chance to use Ubuntu Touch with a device that looks and feels familiar enough to the previous device that they owned or used, in case they switch.
Yeah. So, very good idea. And if people have tried or experienced some things in this matter, I think they can contact you just to help you out, or at least tell you that they tried this and it didn't work. So don't bother doing it this way.
Definitely, yes. And I will release the source on GitHub as soon as I have some initial working proof of concepts up and running. The idea is to get it basically from this Pixel 7a that I have here over to this Pixel 3a, and importing all the data that the device is able to export. So I want to get this to work very soon, and I've just recently started on it, but I will let you know how it progresses and where it goes.
Yeah.
So,
Super.
Yeah.
And I think you want to share some news about your new browser.
Yes, exactly.
That is also really awaited.
Yeah, that is possible. Yeah. So I've joined a few discussions, or started a few discussions with WPE WebKit folks on Matrix, and um, I am personally planning for having an initial working application for 2404. And the first steps that I want to take in this regard to get the WPE WebKit support up on par with what one expects are two particular points here. One of them is getting graphics to work on libhybris devices using appropriate means. That is using Grelloc mechanisms or graphics buffer mechanisms from libhybris and using those to pass those pixels around in a way that is fast and allows for fluid scrolling and still having a secure and featureful browser experience. I'm also brainstorming about ideas for video playback in GStreamer. So there are a few changes that I want to go through that allow for video playback. No particular, let's say, like previews or so. It's still in the planning phase. But I'm brainstorming about the ideas of video playback, and I hope to share some more about this in the future. But rest assured, I have plans to get this to a point where we can use it as soon as 2404 is out and in a state where it makes sense and where it performs well enough to be considered stable enough for a public release.
Yeah, would be great. And as I said in the intro, many people are waiting for an alternative browser because the current limitation regarding the Qt version of Qt Web Engine is bothering a lot of people.
Yeah.
Or at least people that vocalize it.
That is true. But it is what it is, and we still are stuck with what Morph and Qt Web Engine are using and providing. But some people want something new, something that allows us to move more freely on top of what is out there already. And WebKit allows that, and integrated well enough into the system allows us to provide a better browser experience than we already have. And I'm pretty sure we can pull this off. It just needs work, and it just needs people working on it. Right now, I'm the only one doing it. And in that sense, it will take some time if only one person is working on it, right? So,
yeah. But, do you have issues on your GitLab account, or
one can
so
already
people can jump in and help you with some features?
People can already send issues to GitHub, my GitHub personal GitHub account. WebHunt is the repository name. It's not the app name. It's just the repo name. But in the end, this is where issues will flow into for now. And assuming we get to a point where we can release click packages to freely install on the device, those issue tracking features on GitHub will come in handy. For now, people will have to build the browser and WebKit by themselves. The instructions are on GitHub already in the README, but rest assured, it is a little lengthy process. It's a very lengthy process and takes a long time, and also requires an all ARM64 build machine right now, which you may or may not have. So there are still some hurdles for contribution overall and getting the thing off the ground, but we'll get there.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. Now let's jump to the new applications.
Yes.
Because developers or app developers were also busy in the last couple of weeks. If you can add my screen to the stage.
Yeah, sure. There you go.
So there was updated apps, and we have some, let's say, few apps, new apps at least for Focal. Updated in the last couple of weeks were mileage, the miles per gallon calculator, and we just after the last Q&A, we had the log message, a comeback of this app that many people were missing in Focal. So it allows you to create a custom message in your lock screen. So if, for example, the easiest way to see that is phone has been lost, please return it to this address or call this landline phone number. So yeah, a great addition to the open store apps.
Oh yeah.
So thank you, Faisal Shahzad, for this port. You updated a couple of apps also,
Yeah.
Snapser and Ghost Cloud Photo Backup. So
Yes, indeed. So for Snapstore, I've rebased on recent Snapd changes, plus fixed up a few things with regards to GTK or GNOME software that is shipped as a Snap, and that one uses the CPU to render things now. It's not using OpenGL at the moment, but it will come to a point where someday, probably, potentially, if people care enough, that GTK applications will also perform better with OpenGL ES as the renderer. Right now, to get things working at all, it's disabling GL support for GTK apps. But Qt 5, Qt 6, SDL apps still work perfectly fine. And as an example, I would like to wait a second. I would like to share the screen again, and it's this one. There are a few apps running here. For example, the Qt 5 based QML creator with everything running off of the Pixel 3a. Here we have GTK applications using GTK4 performing on Pixel 3a as well. Here we have Telegram Desktop, which uses X11. It's not optimal, but it works and gets us to the point where you can use Telegram Desktop directly off of the Snap Store on your Ubuntu Touch device. Here we have Tide running it with a Qt as a classically confined Qt 6 snap, and also Yamagi Quake 2 based on SDL, using SDL for drawing pixels in a window using OpenGL ES. And here is the Snap Store front end as provided by Canonical. So directly off of the Snap Store, running everything smoothly. And yeah, that is something that I was working on with regards to Snap Store. So those things are released and it works pretty well now. You still need to tweak a few things. You sometimes need to add environment variables to make an application launchable, but it is what it is until we have a fully Wayland capable system where there's no mere client preference at all. So as long as mere client is the preferred windowing system on Ubuntu Touch, this will stay that way. But as soon as Wayland is capable of running all the things that we expect from Ubuntu Touch and from Lemiri, those things will probably change. The next one is Ghost Cloud Photo Backup, and for that I did a few fixes, made it more stable during boot up, and made it start up properly during boot up at all, which allows us to have photo backups over Wi-Fi to your Nextcloud account just by setting up two settings, basically, which account to back up to and enabling the synchronization feature, and that's it. So Ghost Cloud working on the Ubuntu Touch 2004 system, backing up your photos to Nextcloud works pretty well now, and I'm happy with it. So Those have been basically my involvements with app development over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can add the screen also, we have two
Oh, yeah.
apps, two core apps, the clock and the music app that has been updated, quick release, quick update. I think it's yeah, some things on the UR dispatcher, so that's good thing. And for the music, I think there's also some translation update. Yeah. So and the same URL dispatcher that we've seen in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
There's also a new app called QTH Locator by Josephine Leach. This can be useful for people that used to be radio amateur. So it helps them find the QTH codes nearby. So yeah, good thing people have a need for this, and so now there's a map for this. So yeah, so it's already been translated in Dutch and Czech. So good thing. So yeah, we have people working on it. So that's great news. First publication on the 22nd, so it was during the live stream, and updated last week. So yeah, actually working on. Another new app is FartPlan, and it's not to log your flatus, but it's about public transportation, and that's from Not Fat, Not Funny. I like the username. So yeah, Swiss public transport time schedule app. So just to see where is your next bus, train, or I don't know, maybe tramway. So yeah, seems not sure about the color scheme, but I like the design so far. And for Swiss people, that's a good thing. And for people traveling to Switzerland also. So thank you, Not Fat, Not Funny, for this new app. We also have an update on the time series application that we discussed a couple of times ago. So actively being developed. So that's also a good thing to see developers just working on their app and maintaining them. And also a new one in the open store, UTC PU FREC. So as the name implies, this is a CPU frequency monitor for Ubuntu Touch, developed by Malti or Malt. So yeah, quite comparable to another app that shows the different performance between the devices. But yeah, this one is quite interesting also to have, and very simple UI. So thank you, Malti, for this. And to finish, we have also an active developer. It's we developed Annotate. It's from Centris. And this one allows you to edit PDF. We already talked about this because it has been updated quite frequently, and the developer says on the forums that it will continue to do so. So yeah, new goodies on this app. So thanks everyone for your contributions. That's really appreciated, and yeah, can't wait to see what is new in the next couple of weeks.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. What do you think? Shall we head over to the sponsors?
I guess so.
There we go. All right. So we have banners. Of course, we should put them to use. We have sponsors that help us as UBports provide Ubuntu Touch and making it possible. Starting with these sponsors right here: Smooth, Voila, Pine64, Private Internet Access, DigitalOcean, GitLab, OneStein, OCA, Gardner and Associates Consulting Inc., Netlify, Cloudron, CodeLutin, Tixia, and Gandhi.net. Thanks to everyone I just mentioned. Thanks a lot for helping us out, for providing resources that we require to pull this off. And we should also, of course, mention the patrons. Who wants them? Should I take them or oh no, I think I just raised my
Please
hand
do.
automatically.
No, you want? Okay, I can.
No, you're more than welcome to do it.
Okay, let's go. So thank you to our awesome patrons. Thank you, Asil, Esmund Kopeng, Boris Flohaus, Daniel Franchak, David Seal, JT Brooks, Jose Angel Escura, Kenneth Drew, Linus Rune, Lothar Ketterer, Mark Adamits, Marco A, Michael Kellner, Peter Mack, Philip Speicher, Rakesh PK, Robert Haley, Robin Hood, Rudy Arudi, Spendier Huse, Stephen Card, Stephen Granger, Sorav Sant und Sabine Schwarzer, and Will Atwood. Thank you all for your continuous support. That's really, really important for us. Yeah, please, if you want to donate to the foundation, you can head to ubports.com/donate. And we have a lot of ways to do that. And of course, if you want, because I see this question sometimes in the forum, if you want to donate to some specific projects, then please reach to some people interested in this topic. Like I heard about VOT, like a new browser. You can this way, no, this way. You can help him out because he's doing it in his free time and he's not paid for this, and
Exactly.
it will be highly appreciated. So yeah, don't hesitate also to donate on your favorite contributors, because yeah, if you want to donate to a specific topic, then it's the best way. Many people also in the App Store are sharing their Patreons or other way to donate. So thank you everyone that donates, and that's important also. And thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you for your support. All right. So, next up are the questions from the forum. We take those questions roughly a week before the episode starts and gets streamed live on YouTube. We will start with Plardy's question here. Is there any long-term plan to add different flavors of Ubuntu Touch with different desktop environments like GNOME? This is probably very low priority, but I wondered what it would feel like to use GNOME with Ubuntu Touch. Alternatively, if someone here were to do the work, would it be welcome as a contribution sometime in the far future? Question mark. So generally, no. Generally, what we see as Ubuntu Touch is the Ubuntu base plus Lumiri plus the Open Store plus other services that provide the functionality that the system exposes to the user. And that includes telephony and online accounts and other things. Ubuntu Touch started as this, and of course, there's nothing standing in the way of others forking off Ubuntu and making their own, adding a different shell on top of it. But that we don't see that as our main focus for anything regarding Ubuntu Touch. To us, Ubuntu Touch is Lumiri and Lumiri UI Toolkit and all the apps that are hosted on the Open Store that are available from there. And that will probably not change. So in this sense, we have our focus, and it will probably not happen, but doesn't stop anyone from doing it on their own, right?
Yeah, that's. I would like to add something about the plan. There is no plan because it's volunteer work. and
Mm.
contributors just do it voluntarily. And at the moment, we share a vision around Lomiri and how the experience for the end user is. We want something that is um, close to Android or iOS, but
Mm.
not in the feature way, but in the reliability. So we
Yes.
want things just to work and be consistent all over the place. And if we had different flavors and a lot of customization, it will require a lot of work just to maintain it. It's already really difficult to port to a newer version, even if it's been easier now since the move from 1604 to
Yeah.
2004. But still, 2404 is not here yet because the work is a lot.
Yes.
It's a huge task to tackle, and yeah, people are not paid to do that. And
Exactly.
yeah, so it's at the moment it's just a community effort, people that goes in the same direction, and the foundation is here to support them, to give them some means, but not to pay them for to do this job. So how best to support it can be monetary also, but yeah, that's some things we have also to figure out with the new board of directors. But yeah, this will go there. But yeah, the idea is still volunteer works and open source project. So please join in, try to help, and that's the way to go.
All right. So the next question is from Sab. Hello. I like to know if after Noble the plan is to keep updating the Ubuntu versions to like 24.10, 25.04, etc. Or will Noble stay for a while and the focus will be on developing new features? Thank you very much. The latter. We will definitely try to stay on Noble for as long as possible. We will have our own versioning uh, scheme that showcases where we stand, which release this is. But for now, the plan is to stay on Noble because the LTS base really. Between those 2 years, there's not a lot going on that we can reliably say it's worth the effort of rebasing again. We want to have the ability to develop new features and make those available as quickly as possible to users. So we should probably stick with our plans to stay on Noble and LTS releases in general, so that we are able to provide features more reliably and more quickly to people who use our stuff.
Yeah, well, like I said, we saw in the last years a lot of work being put into just staying up to date,
Mhm.
just to avoid being obsolete with 1604. And now it's time to focus also on the features. So yeah, because people, some people complain that yeah, feature-wise it's not a lot, but for many people it's still daily drivable.
Mhm.
For others, we lack some basic features, and at the moment, the features that we lack the most are VoLT, VO over Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
5G. Those are things we want to address. It will be done mostly at the same time with 24.4, but yeah, still we need a lot of new features to keep up with the good work and to have a product we are proud to use every day.
Mhm. All right.
Next question from Chris Tatos. According to the question of SAP, so the previous one, what will happen to Focal after the switch to Noble? As far as I remember, there's LTS from Canonical side. It wasn't there for Xenio for our architecture. So will there be security updates parallel to Noble? I remember some Q&As earlier. You said every device that is capable of Focal is also ready for Noble, so that there's no need for Focal updates. I'm Not
Yeah.
sure about the last part, but just yeah, denial. There was a huge change to systemd, so we needed to refurbish a lot of things. Now that it's done, there will be updates because it's still updated in the LTS, so long-term support. So that's great. Xenion, the problem also was that it's no longer supported, or maybe they extended it a bit, but it's end of life now. For Focal and for mobile, it will not change the way the device are used. So what has been said, I think, was probably that between Focal and Noble, all the device will be compatible. So you will not be left behind like for some devices. But
It's easy. It's easier to update a port from Focal to Noble rather than from Xenial to Focal. So
yeah,
the upgrade process is much easier. Things are more standardized. Like things that are expected at certain places are already there and can be reused from Focal times. So in that sense, there's not much new to learn here. It might still need some configuration changes, but for now, that is something that is quote unquote yet to be seen in a sense. We
yeah,
will see what needs to be changed when the first devices trickle down to or trickle up, however you want to see it, to Noble and making it work. So
yeah. And it's also all depends on the maintainers of the port. So
mm,
yeah, if one port is not maintained, that's not due to the community as a whole, but it's not a decision made by a corporation or by the foundation. It's
mm,
just that the maintainer lost interest in this port or didn't have the device or no one else stepped in to maintain the device. So yeah, basically when you choose a device to use with Bluetooth Touch, um, we try also in the new version of the website, we try to put that in more perspective and to showcase it. But yeah, it's important to have a good maintainer that is still active on his sport. So yeah, maintainers are important. Choose your maintainer wisely. And
exactly.
I have two of the best. I have one from Alfred and I have one from Notkit. So
Thank you.
yeah, I'm good. I'm covered.
Very good. I see question here in live chat with regards to using. No, everything all right?
I'm
Uh,
dying.
no, please don't. So
No, just a
got a
cold.
question here in live chat regarding apt, and no, we don't use apt on Ubuntu Touch. The root FS is read only for a reason, for bulletproof updates, for immutability, for making sure that your device is not vulnerable to persistent threats as much as you would expect. And we use the open store, we use click packages, and we also are in the process of getting support for snaps, as we have mentioned earlier. So there is not much of a reason to use apt anymore. And if you really need apt Debian packages, you can still install them in Libertine inside of a truth that allows most of the things that you want from a graphical app based on Debian packaging to be working on the device. So yeah.
Yeah,
Last
and
question.
thank you, Amy. I will not die due to the YouTube regulations.
Yes, please.
We don't want to be demonetized. I
Cool.
don't think
Yes,
we
good,
are.
good YouTube rules. Don't die on stream. Perfect. Okay.
Um,
Last
last
question.
question from Uxis.
Yeah,
Please
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Okay. How is Noble going? Is there any status of, for example, is it going very slow with a lot of issues under our feet that are slowing us down, or we are moving slowly, but without any big issues or so. That's one. I mean, I'm always trying to set expectations with the news sections, but generally, Noble development is, even though it's going, it appears to be slow. Our progress is still going very good because we always get to see new things every 2 weeks happening there on GitHub and GitLab. GitLab, pardon me, hasn't been GitHub for a long time, but it is what it is. And even though things look or appear as if they were moving slowly, they're not really. It's just a big project, a lot of tasks and huge tasks for what we want to provide. So this is the reason why Ubuntu Touch just takes a long time to bake and have it prepared for regular users to enjoy. So, of course, one could probably build a Noble-based rootfs right now using all the command line tools to achieve it, but it will not be a satisfying experience for anybody interested in downloading or just installing the thing. So that one is still a little bit far away. So well, let's just enjoy the ride, and let's see where we go over the next few months. But I'm pretty sure we will have something usable in a manageable time frame, so that we get to enjoy Noble further and quickly, whatever,
Quickly here, yeah, as soon as possible.
as soon as possible. Yes, that's one.
Yeah, business terms.
Yeah.
ASAP. Yeah, I have a question for you in the chat.
Okay.
Christopher asked, "What is Tide?"
Tide is a development environment for writing C++, WebAssembly applications, Ubuntu Touch applications, and Snapcraft packages, where it's an IDE with autocomplete, with compilation, with text editing. What you expect from a small, tiny little IDE. It started as an IDE for tablets, but nowadays it also runs on Linux because it's built using Qt 6. So on iPad you can build WebAssembly stuff, and I've already written WebAssembly on it that is in the use on at least one website, which I'm not going to mention right now because it's got a naughty word in it. And don't worry, it's not. Don't let your mind fool you just because it said naughty. And on Linux, you can build very nice click packages and Snapcraft packages, so snap packages directly on a device, actually on Ubuntu Touch with Tide, with LexD, with Docker, with the clickable and Snapcraft. You can build it pretty well, but you can build all of it and execute it on the device even. So it's written in Qt 6, allows to work on Ubuntu Touch, and I enjoy working on it too. So because I want to have it myself, and it is cool in my opinion.
Yeah. An ID, native, and convergent.
Also, yes, it works on a smart phone form factor. It works on a tablet, and it works on the desktop. And that's for a C++ IDE that allows you to do some medium like sized task on it. So autocomplete, auto format, making sure making actual software on a device. And that's what I wanted to aim for the iPad. And I also didn't want to leave Ubuntu Touch and the rest of the Linux world out of the picture. So it is there, and it is free to be used. It's MIT licensed also. So if you're interested in licenses, use it that way.
We have also another question by HNS Broker that asks, "Is there a Telegram group?" Yes, we have.
Yes, at
I think
UBports.
it's at UBports.
Exactly. At UBports, and get your voices heard there too, or the forums, or wherever you can find us. But we do have a Telegram group, and you can join us there and talk about topics that revolve around Ubuntu Touch.
Yeah.
Assuming it's not going too much into apt use or development. Just for regular folks who are not too much into technical details, this is probably the best or one of the better places to discuss all topics around Ubuntu Touch and Lemuri. So, and Lemuri also has its own Telegram group. So, we will probably get forwarded to the proper place in case you have an off-topic question. So that's that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you see any other questions in the chat? I'm a slow reader.
I see a weird one. I see a weird question. I call this question weird because it mentions the iPhone 7 running Ubuntu Touch. I've not seen that. It might be possible or might have been possible with an older. I remember that iPhone 7 had a way to run regular Linux kernel once, but not so much of a goal for us. I mean, sure, you can do it in case you get a decent performance out of it and all the hardware support running on it. We might consider some things here. But until then, the iPhone 7 probably is not going to make it to one of our supported devices over at this URL. So,
nice.
So if you're really interested in a supported device, go over to devices.ubuntu-touch.io and figure out whether, if your device is not on the list, it needs to be custom tailored to run Ubuntu Touch. So either get a device that is already on the devices page, or you will have to port it yourself and work on it yourself so that you can enjoy what you're asking for. I see here on Telegram the question. I guess they're asking about Project Sandcastle. Yes, that's the one that allowed Linux kernel to boot off of older iPhones. But yeah, it's been a while since that one existed or has been existing. So yeah. All right. So, do you see any questions that might be interesting to pull up here on the stage?
Not yet, but I'm a very slow reader. And yeah, there was off-topic discussions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Folks, what are you doing here? What?
I see a lot of sudo apt get what?
As long as you're not mentioning that you forgot to turn off your stove at home.
My stove, man.
Forgot to turn off. Gotta get home again. So,
yeah, we have a question by Christopher again that asks, which kernel does Ubuntu Touch use? Yeah, it's a
which
good
what?
question. Which kernel does Ubuntu Touch use? The same as the desktop version of Ubuntu for the same release? Question mark?
No. It's all based on the decision whether it is a Halium or a mainline device. For Halium devices, it is mostly running vendor kernels. All of them are running the vendor kernels from Android, just modified enough to provide all the features for the operating system to shine. And on mainline devices, which are also using custom-built kernel packages or kernels at all for the device that it's running on, it's still a custom build, and it's not using the Linux images package from Ubuntu repositories. But other than on the PDK, so on the platform development kit for the virtual machine that we spawn for building and testing applications and system components, that one uses regular Ubuntu kernels because it's running in QEMU and has everything available that is required to run on an Intel ARM 64 based machine without special driver needs. So that one could work on even a few tablets, which we've seen in the past or heard of in the past, working pretty well or well enough to boot up and provide some great experience. But it's still not nothing compared to a custom tailored Halium build that just allows almost all, if not all, hardware to work properly.
Yeah. I saw also a question about do we have considered opening a Mastodon instance? We have a Mastodon account at UBports.
Yes.
About creating an instance, that will be another kind of work, I guess. I'm not sure if by instance you mean just having the account at UBports, but we lack a lot of maintainers and people being able to just and for an instance with the proper server running Mastodon, then that will require also help from our sponsors, or because it's time and effort to make it run, and resources are not cheap.
Oh yeah. All right. If there are no questions coming in here,
I think I scrolled everything in the comments, and
and also
okay.
for those interested in following along with the questions during live chat, they will probably be available on YouTube as well for playback and enjoying when you watch this final episode on YouTube directly after the stream is finished.
Yeah.
So, with that out of the way, I guess we can call it a day or night. What do you think? Anything you want to add?
Oh, thank you all. And Amy is right also that data protection is hard.
The protection is hard, yes.
Yeah, that's hard to run a server. A lot of things going on behind the scene.
Is it called protecting my
thanks
data
everyone
or
who joined.
protection? What?
Sorry?
Doesn't matter. I was thinking out loud, and I shouldn't do that one as often.
Okay.
All right.
So thank you all for joining. It has been a pleasure
Yeah.
meeting with everyone and talking directly with you, Alfred.
Yeah, same here. All right. So thanks a lot for joining and enjoying the audio and video playback and live stream from this final episode. We hope to see you next week or hear from you next week. And until then, stay healthy, watch out, and don't hurt yourself.
Don't hurt yourself. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Click the